Hello, and welcome to another Unstuck Leadership Moment. My name is Mark Wavell with Unstuck Careers. Glad you joined me today. Today, we're going to be talking about Rethink Your Rework, embracing healthy rework to maximize effectiveness. Now, in the classes I teach about Agile product development, and as I coach teams who are embracing these ways of working, we often run across this moment of challenge. See, we're building iteratively and incrementally, right? Building on top of things to get to a whole, to a larger thing. And I often get asked in this, why would I bother to spend time working on something in a small way that I know I'm going to have to come back and rework and add to later? Why wouldn't I just do it all right now? I don't want to waste my time. I'll often hear that. And I remember a specific moment of this with a team I was working with. We were building a website, right? Typical three-tier architecture, database, service layer, front end. And that services developer looked me right in the eye and said, but we know we're going to need to do these things, right? We're going to need to be able to pull this type of data from the database and provide it to the front end. We know that we're going to be able to take this and update the database with it. So why would I spend my time building just this small thing, just this one piece of data to pull from the database? If I know I'm going to have to do all that, I'm just going to come back in like a week, to the next sprint or something and crack open that code and do it all over again. That seems wasteful, doesn't it? And that got me thinking very deeply, right? I think that we have different types of rework. There's, in my opinion, healthy rework and unhealthy rework. So here we go. I've got two principles of healthy and two principles of unhealthy rework. The first principle for healthy rework is to optimize for the speed of learning. As we are building it, we may learn something about how we're building the product that affects what we do next. We might realize that it negates what we've done, or we need to adjust what we've done, or maybe it confirms the way we've architected it and designed it, and we build on top of it. Or think about the value of what we're building. We, again, may learn something about that by building a small piece that may negate what we've done, that may modify it, that may confirm it, and we build on top of it. In either case, we're better served by learning as quickly as possible. Building the whole thing actually slows down that learning process, that learning loop, the feedback loop that we need. And it increases our risk of waste because we could build the whole thing and find out that it's not what we need. In complexity, in ambiguity, in volatility, we need to assume that our future selves will know something that we don't know today. And we need to figure out as quickly as we can what that is, learn it, and then do that again. Some teams, and maybe this is a situation you're in, but some teams that I work with, sometimes I'll hear this refrain, we know what needs to be done, we just need to do it. If that's really true, if that's actually true, then I would challenge you, why are you using Agile approaches? Because Agile is intended for complexity, ambiguity, volatility, things where we need to learn, where we elevate learning as a first-class citizen. And that's where healthy rework is going to be good for us. We need it. Principle number 2 of healthy rework, optimize for the whole. Consider the overall picture of what's needed for the solution to be valuable. Like take a training class, for example. The instructional design of the course material is just one piece of it. Just one part that will affect the value that the students get from it. It's also like the marketing that gets them into the classroom, right? It's also the rooms set up. It's also the technology available and so many other things. It's the instructor themselves. So if you're building a piece that integrates with a larger whole, which pretty much is always the case, have a bias toward delivering the fastest, cheapest test of the whole, a slice of it, or the next largest chunk where you're connecting pieces, parts to get closer to the whole. In other words, even if it does cost you the rework that you predict that it will, that trade-off brings more value by testing the integrated solution to learn what's valuable about that and what's not. All right, so let's flip the coin over. Let's go evil coach here for a moment. What if we wanted to optimize for unhealthy rework? Principle number 1 of optimizing for unhealthy rework is increase low quality work. That's the fastest way to be doing unhealthy rework. That's frustrating and costly. If you've taken shortcuts in the quality that cause you to revisit, rewrite, rework, that's not great. In Scrum terminology, this would be ignoring a robust definition of done. If you ignore it, you're going to be back here again. And here's the thing, the problem with this type of rework, in addition to it being frustrating and, feeling really unengaging, is that it actually impedes that learning loop that I was just talking about. That thing we're trying to optimize for, it gets in the way of that. And so this is not great. We don't want to optimize for this. But if we did, principle number 2 of unhealthy rework is we've seen this movie before. Play it again. Things that we've already seen more than once, we have empirical evidence that we'll likely need to do it again. Those are the things we want to create a process. We want to formalize. We maybe even want to automate it. Like the build process for your software. You're going to need to do that on a regular basis. Why would you rediscover that each time you're doing it? Save your discovery, save your learning for things that are not repetitious. All right. So when your team can avoid the pit of unhealthy work, right, and can identify healthy rework and lean to the learning that it offers you, that's when you'll be learning faster, you'll be delivering higher value solutions for your customers, and that is where you'll find highest effectiveness. I'm really curious from your perspective, if you could put into the comments, even email me, what are some examples of healthy and unhealthy rework in your experience? I'd love to learn from you on that. So until next time, this is Mark Rabel for Unstuck Careers. We'll see you next time.